Coming up on LUTV News, the GM strike continues as workers are still fighting for benefits and rights.
Plus, the United States has information on who is responsible for the drone attack on Saudi Arabia and has a plan for retaliation.
And a detective is suing the U.S. District Court of St. Louis for being attacked while undercover. Those stories and more ahead on LUTV News. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Rolando Dupuy.
And I'm Danielle Lee.
General Motors union workers are making progress towards a new contract. However, the strike continues into its third day. More than 49,000 workers nationwide walked off their jobs on Monday. Two major striking points in the new 4-year contract are healthcare costs and giving temporary workers a clear path to permanent jobs. Workers say they are willing to stay out as long as they need. A city analysis says that the strike is costing the company about $100 million every day.
An attack early Saturday morning struck the world's largest oil processing plant in a Saudi Arabian oil field. Tensions are flaring when President Donald Trump says the United States is locked and loaded in response to the oil refinery attack. Trump says the U.S. has reason to believe Iran was behind the attack. 50% of the daily crude oil production was knocked out and has been restored. According to Saudi Arabia's energy master, full production is expected by the end of the month. This attack took out 2 billion cubic feet of daily production. No workers were wounded during this attack.
Over 300 St. Louis police officers are facing a federal lawsuit for the so-called Caroline technique of rounding up and arresting people during protests back in 2017. The protest happened when former St. Louis police officer Jason Stockley was cleared from the murder of Anthony Lamar. On the third night, after most of the protesters had dissipated, police surrounded about 100 people who were still in downtown St. Louis. More than 100 arrested were journalists, one Air Force officer, and even residents who said they were never a part of any protest.
A St. Louis cop is accusing his own police department of attacking him and trying to cover it up while he was undercover during a protest in 2017. The lawsuit was filed this week against U.S. District Court. The lawsuit claims Luther Hall was working undercover during the protest for the acquittal of Jason Stockley. According to Detective Hall, he was slammed down twice and beat with fists days after Stockley was found not guilty of killing a black man. Hall claims he was left with several fractured discs, a jaw injury that has affected the way that he eats, and he has not been able to return to work.
Straight ahead on LUTV News, 2 bodies were found in Gasconade County and police are investigating.
Plus, a MSD worker was fatally hit by a crane while on the job. All of that and more when we return back.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But here's the thing. Can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Can one piece of paper really tell you my whole story? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or how anytime there was an opportunity, I was the first one to step up. Because I wasn't gonna let my life, my circumstances dictate who I was gonna become. And all of that determination, the commitment, the drive, that's me. And that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent like me.
A 4-year-old boy in Gasconade County was reported missing, then found dead hours later with a 37-year-old family friend. At about 11:30 p.m., the man's car was found 20 minutes outside of Bell and the bodies were nearby. Their names haven't been released yet. Police are still investigating what happened to the toddler and the family friend. Bell is about 45 minutes southeast of Jefferson City.
A construction worker was hit and killed by a crane at a Metropolitan St. Louis Sewer District tunnel site. The accident happened on Tuesday at 3 in the morning on Caroline Court in Shrewsbury. MSD spokesperson Shen Henley says the worker had been on the job for 2 weeks. Hadley says that they are investigating what led up to the incident.
Just when you thought the fast food chicken sandwich war was over, KFC announces the tasting of a new product. KFC decided to take things in a different direction by having a fried chicken and donut sandwich. Customers will have two options: the chicken and donut basket meal for $5.49 or the chicken sandwich for $5.99. This is a move that will either be a hit or insane. Items will be available for a limited time only.
When we return, I have your look at weather for the next week. Headed into the weekend, you'll be sure to have to grab an umbrella.
Ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years? You might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
What is it, Julia? Why are you so excited, honey?
Hey, do you want to use your talker? With Julia's autism, using a talker can help her find the words she wants to say.
My dog.
You want to do something with Rose, Julia?
Play ball.
Do you want to play catch with Rose? I think Rose is excited to play catch too. Oh, Julia, you show us so many different ways to talk together. Oh, and play. Good catch, Rose. Okay, give Julia the ball. There you go. Okay, throw the ball, Julia. Oh.
For Julia's family, early screening for autism made a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Okay, Julia, there you go. Oh, another good throw. That's the way.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
It has been so hot today.
I know. I really hope the heat lets up.
What do you have for us, Shaylin?
Thanks, Orlando and Danielle. Today, I hope folks got outside a little bit because the Midwest is staying clear, making the weather really nice. And in the Northwest, there's a low front sweeping that'll affect us getting into this weekend with stormy weather. I have more details on that for you in a bit. A high front is stable in the Rockies, making it very dry. If you're thinking about joining the Area 51 raid this weekend, expect blazing temperatures. Taking a closer look at the area and the sunny skies all around, it's 88 in St. Louis. It's 89 right now in St. Charles. In Maryland Heights, it is 89 as well. Over in O'Fallon, it's going to be 87, and in St. Peter's, it's currently 89. Now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast for St. Charles. That summer weather is trying to stick around a little bit more. Never fear. The temperatures are slowly dropping, but slowly but surely. For a start of a hot fall, that's going to be on Monday. Today is remaining a hot one. Sunny skies hitting a high of 91, cooling down to 69 later on tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies as well, and it's the last day where we're hitting the 90s. High of 91, low of 70. You can expect the same weather conditions on Friday, and then a high of 88, a low of 71. Now, taking a look at the weekend, this is where the low front makes its appearance, and scattered thunderstorms both days. Saturday, a high of 81 and a low of 71. Sunday's keeping that high of 81 as well, a low down to 68. Definitely don't forget your umbrella this weekend and try to stay indoors. That's your forecast. I'm Shaylin Davis, and Mina Nicolas is here with sports. Mina?
Thanks, Shailene. Straight ahead on LUTV Sports. A famous Cardinals manager suffers a stroke. And we will have an update on the Cardinals and the Blues. Also, the results of the Lindenwood tennis team.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah. You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Nice.
Welcome back to LUTV in sports news. Former Cardinals manager and Hall of Famer Whitey Herzog had a minor stroke on Monday at his golf charity event. According to Jack Herzog, Whitey's son, the former manager, also known as the White Rat, started feeling lightheaded on the golf course, and Jack took him immediately to the hospital. Whitey was able to go home the same night. And the Cardinals lost 6-2 last night against the Washington Nationals, who still have a shot at the wild card position. This is the Cardinals' third loss in 5 games, and they will play today for the last time at Busch Stadium before heading to Wrigley Field on Friday. The Blues returned to ice action, getting the W in their first preseason game against the Dallas Stars on Monday night. The Blues outshot the Stars 10-2 in the first period and then scored twice just 5.5 minutes into the second period. It was a great mix of NHL players and prospective players from each team that got a chance in the spotlight. And in Lions territory, the women's tennis team fell 6-1 against Maryville Tuesday afternoon. The star of the team, sophomore Fernanda Pablete from Chile, won her 2 matches 6-1 and 6-2. Freshman Paula Sotres from Spain came up short just by 1 point, losing both of her matches by scores of 7-6 in each game. On the men's side, the Lions came out on top of Maryville for a 4-3 victory. Lion Juan Herrera had some pressure but powered through to get the win in both of his matches, 7-6 and 7-5 respectively. Francisco Diaz and Juan Alvin were the other 2 Lions that came out on top on singles and also got the win in doubles. The men's rugby team made history last semester when they won the Penn Mutual Collegiate Championship for the 2nd year in a row. But the Lions are not only starting this season as back-to-back Penn national champions, they have also won the USA Rugby Sevens 3 years in a row. This is the first year in the men's program history that they win both the USA Rugby and Penn Mutual. The Lions will be back in action October 7th for the first home match of the season. That's all for sports. Back to you, Rolando and Danielle.
That's it for this edition of LUTV News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rolando Dupuy.
And I'm Danielle Lee. Have a great rest of the day.